Buen dia, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Better Monday Fasting. Today I'll be talking about the communication with our body and the clean slate situation. Why it's important to get to that clean slate situation, so we can have the best communication with our, understand better like the messages the body is sending us, so we can be guided the right way throughout our journey. Yeah. So before getting started, I want to make it clear that this is no way medical advice. So please do your own research before making decisions on your health. And today it's a bit of a windy day, and I'm gonna try to avoid the big avenues so we have a better, we have less noise on the recording. But let's see how it goes. Okay, so I'm crossing one street, then I'm gonna cross like a major avenue. This is the Brazil Avenue. It's one of the, I don't know if it's one of the largest, but it's a pretty important avenue. Brasilia. Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you watched some of my videos before this one. I often talk about the body communicating with us, and it might sound a little abstract, like it's like how the body is going to communicate. I mean, obviously it's not verbal, but it's like it's the way it makes us feel. It's the way it makes us communicates us what it needs. But the problem is that our perception can be so distorted because of various factors that we're getting lost in translation, so to speak. That's the problem, and I can say that with confidence, because if I analyze how I was perceiving what my body was telling me before fasting and how I perceive it now, it's a complete different world. Like it's so then it's open to discussion. I mean, what's the truth? But it's just that I know that now things are working well, and before they weren't working that well. So that's why I come to the conclusion, and now there's construction here. I come to the conclusion that my perception was skewed, before. So that's why. So I'm about to release a book called For a Better Monday. It's the last stages. Like we're getting the formatting done, and I'm gonna be sending it to Amazon very soon. So there's a chapter in there called, if I remember it correctly, getting to a clean slate situation. That's very important, and it's going to happen within the initial fasting cycles. When we're doing those fasting cycles that are kind of the most difficult ones. The first fasting sessions, you got to bite the bullet. Chances are they're not going to be easy. They're most likely not going to be easy. They could. It depends on a lot of factors, but so those they are the most difficult ones. And once we pass them, we start seeing. First fasting is going to be way easier, so you're not going to be experiencing that many uncomfortable symptoms, and also we're going to start seeing things better, so we can make better decisions and interpret more correctly what the body is trying to tell us. So the idea behind the clean slate, to get to a clean slate, it's that, you know, the body's sending a lot of signals, you know. So when I say listen to your body, then you're like, okay, my body wants me to drink a beer. My body wants me to eat like chocolate ice cream with lots of processed sugar. But that's not really what the body needs, you know. So those are probably like short-lived, like unsustainable addictions. So we have to learn how to differentiate from. And the same with resistance to difficulty, you know. Like now if you jump into I don't know, 40-degree water, 40-degree Fahrenheit, like I don't know, like 8 degrees, 6 degrees Celsius, you know, it's gonna be, I mean, the signal you're gonna get from the body is like, get out of here, you know. It's like, it's not, or you're not gonna want to do it, you know. You're gonna put your little toe inside the water and be like, oh no, it's too cold, and so that's too, like, we have to differentiate, like, all those like resistance to do difficult things. It's not what the body wants. I mean it's maybe what the body wants, but it's not what is good for the body. It's not what it needs. So that's where we got to, you know, we got to clear our channel with the body and like gain skills in terms of interpretation of how we see things. Yeah, I'm gonna be a bit careful because there's a house there and there's always a police guarding the house, and yeah, I'm suspecting it to be like maybe a politician or somebody important lives there. So I want to be careful with the camera, so not get into trouble for no reason, you know. So yeah, so the thing is like we got to get that channel to be free of noise, you know, and fasting is the best way to have it free of noise, and also to have it one other thing that is creating a lot of noise, it's medication, you know. It's that's the, because when you're on medication, it's very like to get the, oh, it's really windy. I don't know if I put my hand like that, kind of covers from the wind or not. Yeah, medication, it's really bad for our purpose for two reasons. One is, so the body is trying to express itself, right? So it has symptoms. So it's going to give you signals like, oh, I have headache, I have this, I have stomach ache, I have, you know, skin rashes. So first with medication, you're killing the signal, you know. So that's the... Sí, ¿cómo? Eso se llama Better Fasting, Better Monday Fasting.
En Instagram, o sea, vos estás transmitiendo.
Sí, es sobre de ayunos. Ayunos de salud. Ya, nos vemos. Yeah, so the medication is going to be, for our purpose, it's not going to serve us because it's going to, wow, that's a beautiful car. Look at that. So, so it's gonna make us disappear the symptoms. So we are losing there already. Like it's like, you know, because the symptoms we need to learn how to embrace them, and they are telling us something. You know, they are not just happening. just like that for no reason, So with medication, we're gonna lose that. And the second problem with medication is that it has side effects. So then it has side effects, and the side effects are gonna be communicating things too. I'm gonna try to cross here. It's really dangerous here. It's super dangerous. Wow, I made it. Yeah, that's another crossroad freestyle. I don't know if you can. Yeah, I don't know if it makes sense how I captured it, but yeah, it's always the same problem. It's just that they're not aligned. The road, it's just and there's no light, and pare, stop. It's not like in California, full stop, go ahead, I take a sip of from my coffee, and then after you. No, it's like they, even if you're a pedestrian, they, in Argentina they say when you see a pedestrian, like that's a friend of mine. I asked, he didn't know how to drive, so he took classes with a driving school, and the guy, so he's a teacher with like a credential and everything to teach you how to drive, and the guy his advice is like, when you see a pedestrian, you accelerate on them, like towards them, so they move their asses like faster, like that's the official teacher in Buenos Aires. That's how they teach you how to drive. So that tells a lot about Buenos Aires and Los Porteños. I'm not going to comment any further, but yeah, if you ever go there, you'll understand what I mean. And so back to the clean slate situation and the side effects of medication. So now, for example, you're going to take a medication because you had such and such problem, and now you have dry mouth because it's a side effect. But it's not, it's nothing related to your initial condition, And now that you have the dry mouth, maybe you're going to take another action with medication to get rid of that. Maybe you have inflammation, you take pills. Now you have stomach problems because it's irritating your tummy. Then you take another medication, maybe to coat the stomach. Now you have digestive problem because that thing is all chemical, like so. So it's a very, as much I understand, like if you're on medication, after a while, you learn how to function with that, and it becomes your reality, and it's really hard to cut it, cut down or quit. And always, if you're on medication for a long time, and always seek medical advice. It could be kind of dangerous to cut all of a sudden the medication thing. But I'm just noticing with my experience that it's a big problem. So that's why after it was about a year, maybe a little bit less, I quit all medication, and it's one of the best things I've done because it's for our purpose it's really bad, and I'm sure it's also bad for other reasons. Then, of course, like if you have an emergency situation, I don't know, maybe you got stung by a bee, you cannot breathe, and they give you cortisone. Yes, those things are fine. Or you have a huge allergic reaction, they give you all those are, I'm not completely saying that it's useless. In certain situations it can save your life, So no problem with that. But for long term, yeah, for our purpose, it's not good. And it's one more thing that it's one more addiction, you know. It's one more thing that you have to rely on. And I have people like that in my family. They have really poor condition, and I talk to them about fasting, and as soon as I say something, they have an excuse. Oh no, I can't because of this. Oh no, I can't because of that. Like because I'm taking. No, I cannot quit because I'm taking that medication, and if I don't take it, this and this happens, and like so it's so that's why we somehow got to get to that clean slate where we're free of medication, free of also free of toxins, and eventually recalibrate our palate. And so we have our channel with the body, it's clear. So then when the body starts communicating with us, we're getting the right, like we are getting the right signal, and then with knowledge and experience, we're going to learn how to interpret the messages the best way possible. So then we can act upon it. So yeah, it might sound really abstract, I mean, especially if that's the first video you're watching. So maybe reading the book can help. But the master skill you're gonna acquire with fasting, it's listening to the body. It's learning how to listen to the body, understand what it's saying, what it's trying to express, and then act upon it. And once you start, I mean, there's going to be a period of trial and error, you know, because you're like, oh, the body wants this. You try, and then you see that that wasn't the case. But little by little, you're gonna know what it needs, you know, and then the magic starts happening. So because the body is saying, hey, do this, don't do that, fast that long. Don't get into places where, I mean, right now, like I'm stronger. I'm way stronger than before. I can cope way more with things, but I'm also way more sensitive. And I'm not saying sensitive in the sense that, oh, you know, I'm sensitive. Like it's more, I'm sensitive. Like I can smell cigarette smoke feet away. I can smell cleaning supply. I mean, what scent they're using. And my body is saying like, no, this is not good. Don't. So it bothers me, and it becomes a little bit of a problem because you change from the masses, you know. And sometimes there's even really good attentions. For example, I rent an Airbnb, and they have those like wooden sticks dumped in oil, you know, with scent. My body, like it smells good, you know. It smells all like vanilla or whatever, but it's all fake, you know. It's made with chemicals, and my body knows. So my body says, like, get that shit out, you know. So now sometimes before renting the places, I tell them, you know, and the same with you know, doing like cleaning supplies and all. Like all you need is to clean your house. All you need is vinegar. And there's this soap in Turkey, we call it the Arabic soap. It's like it's real deal soap. It's not dough. Like it's like I think it's made base of olive oil, and it's like thick Mediterranean, like heavy duty. And with that, and then you can get you can get like natural extracts, like if you're that much into, like, you want it to smell good. And you can get also air fresheners, like natural, like lavender, you know, like real lavender, not the lavender scent. Same for your car. Once I took a Uber, and the lady had was really nice. She had like a little little bag of lavender. Yeah, I mean it's great. Like, so you don't inhale. Okay. Well, I'm a little bit lost here. No, that's Avenida España. Yeah, you need to go that way. So yeah, now we might get a little bit noisy. Made it to Avenida España. I tried to take side streets so to not to get too much noise. But sometimes traffic is good because they cannot go fast, so the noise level doesn't. It's more constant in the low frequencies, instead of having those peaks and those, ups and downs. So yeah, that communication is really important, because then it's like, your compass is right, your body is telling you what is good for you, what is not, and then then you get the results from your decisions, and because you're making better decisions, it gets better. And it's there are several magic moments with fasting like that. Well, it will do a kind of a butterfly or a domino effect, It also happens with for example, during one fast, you're gonna say the to-do list of your body was like to fix your liver, or a function of your liver. So say during that fast, you fast for 3 days, and your body, it was on his to-do list, his priority was to fix the liver, or a certain function of the liver. So you come back from your fast, and now you have a better functioning liver. So it's great. But the thing is, if the liver is functioning better, it's going to affect other organs. So maybe you're going to be detoxifying better, maybe your blood is going to be a better quality, and then maybe it's going to affect your brain, your lungs, and now that your brain is working better, you're going to, it's like that. So it's very exciting. And one of the magic is it's constructing those tools, like compass-like tools, to navigate better and more. You're gonna make better decisions. You're gonna eat you're gonna stop eating before being full. You're gonna, you had planned to break your fast at a certain hour, but your body is gonna be like, no, fast a little bit more. All those messages are very important, because it's the body knows better than you, And so then, because you're doing the things the right way, you're getting better results. And that's just incredible. But once again, it's like you have to pass those initial stages of fasting. So, that's why you gotta have a leap of faith that those first fast, maybe you're not gonna get the results you want. Maybe it's gonna be a waste of time, waste of energy. You're gonna feel horrible. Just have to, for a better Monday, so for a better tomorrow. It's like, when you construct a building, first you have to dig and get dirt out to get the foundations and stuff. So on the first day of construction, you cannot be like, oh, why am I not on the rooftop in the jacuzzi enjoying the building? It's just because there's eventually you'll get there, but first we need to lay down the construction. And in our case, it's even we need to get rid of the bad foundations first. We have to. It's more of a renovation job, we have to clean. You can also apply the clean slate situation for that. We have to clean the area, of all the reminiscence of toxicity and addictions and effects of medication and all those things, so we can start on have a fresh start on solid foundation. So that's pretty much what I wanted to communicate about the clean slate situation and communication with the body. I mean, that topic, it will always come back. I mean, if you get on the you start watching more videos or you read the book, it's an essential portion of I mean, I think it's the most important skill with fasting. It's that, it's being open, listen to the body and understand, interpret what the body is saying and act upon it with the right actions, And once you have that down, it's a huge, you're gonna gain years of life, not just because you're gonna live longer, It's just that decisions are so important, like a good decision leads you to good places, and bad decisions can make you waste a lot of time, Bad decisions are, I mean, for people who are running companies, and you make one, on that logo design, you were kind of in a rush, you made a bad decision, or on the name, or you don't think it truly, and then it's going to affect, with was my second band in San Diego, Chaining Cope. So we were looking for names, and so we got that name, Chaining Cope, and we really liked it, I mean, it's not that we really liked it. I mean, we had a list of names, and we didn't agree. Like, we all agreed on different names. So that was if I remember it correctly, maybe the only few names, or maybe the only name we agreed upon. So we weren't like super thrilled, but we were like, okay, this one is good. And then we took it as a band name, and it looked good. Chaining Cope, it's kind of like, it sounds English, but we don't really know what it is, and it's actually a name. It's the name of a person, name and last name of a person. And then we recorded our first record and stuff, and then we started touring and playing shows, and then promoting the band. I used to work at a coffee shop, and then you communicate with people. I worked at City College, and maybe before I used to work in a real coffee shop, but at that time I was working as a barista, but it was in the cafeteria of the school. But it was great because there were a lot of rockers like going to school with me, so it was great to, while I was working, I was booking shows and stuff. And then that's when we find out that the name looked great. We loved it. We identify with it, but orally, it was a bad choice. First, I thought it was because I have an accent, and so I'll say, my name is our band name is Chaining Cope, and they'll be like, what, Changing Hope? And I'm like, gee, come on. But then my other bandmates, they're native U.S. citizens, so they will experience the same thing, and we had to spell it out and come on, like write it down, and they're like, oh, okay, and then they probably forget because it's not Michael Jackson, it's Chaining Cope. It's a name, but it's not something that. So in that sense, it was like one decision, and you don't know the impact, Maybe it wouldn't have changed anything, but maybe it would have, with a more efficient name, maybe the band will be somewhere else. Because at each show you play, if 10% of the people, they look you up versus 2% because they couldn't remember the name, it makes a huge difference, So who knows? So it's so with fasting, you'll be making better decisions, and that will save you a lot of time. Because imagine if you are 51% right, say you're 50% like the 51% of the decisions you make, you're right. Well, you'll be millionaire, you know. When you can go to Las Vegas and play, always on the black, you know what I'm saying? Like the roulette, and you'll win. And even as a CEO, I mean, if you had, as a CEO, as a parent, as an artist, if 51% of your decisions were correct, 51%, you'll be in good shape, you know. So fasting helps a lot with that. Now I'm at the most. This is a little bit like the Whole Foods of Asuncion, Paraguay. Yeah, I mean it's a great grocery store. I mean, they don't have everything that I love, like in Colombia. I mean, for the healthy stuff. In Colombia, you have more choices, and Mexico. Like Paraguay, it's still a little. I mean, it's just that the culture isn't there yet fully. So there's no, like, I think there's no market for certain things. Like I haven't seen. I'm sure I can find it, but I haven't seen MCT oils. I haven't seen like, you know, yogurt made with coconut base. I'm not saying yogurt with coconut flavor, but there's yogurt they make like without animal product, you know. And in Colombia, they have local brands that are great and stuff. But here too, I mean, you have coffee brand. I mean, it's booming. I mean, there's a lot, nothing to complain. But this place is really good, and since life in general, it's one of the cheapest country of the Latin America. It makes it that it's for somebody who's making his money from outside of the country. It makes it more accessible, you know. Because lately Mexico, it was getting. That's why I went to Colombia and I came here, because I mean, I love Mexico, but it started getting expensive. Like, you know, like and depending where you are, and the south is always more affordable, but starts getting expensive. But it's good for Mexicans, you know. Like now I have friends from Mexico that are, you know, middle class, you know, doctors, people working restaurant management, like kind of, and they're going on vacation to Las Vegas, they're going to Europe, you know. It's great, like the tables are turning. And then you have, like, I'm hearing some French people that they cannot go to Mexico anymore because it's too expensive, you know. So, so for that, yeah, Paraguay it's great, but I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm selfish. I don't want everybody to come here. It's a little bit selfish, but it's kind of. I mean, it's been 8 years that I've been in Latin America. I mean, I'm a foreigner myself, but yeah, it changes the dynamics, you know, and like when you have more people, and it depends either the intention. I mean, sometimes in Colombia with all the bros and stuff, like I'm not a US citizen, but I'll be ashamed for them, like how they, you know, they speak really loud, and, you know, and they don't observe like the culture, you know, like that people are not like that over there, you know, like it's and I've been in situations where like local people will be like, oh, you know, like, you know, keep it quiet, you know, to that point, you know, because they, oh, bro, and like it's I don't know. I mean, it's cultural differences, but you know, there's no right or wrong culture. But when you go, I think Americans, from what I can observe, they're lacking of the culture of being a foreigner. You know, I've been a foreigner all my life, so they put me my place several times in my life, so I kind of know how things work now. But by now, you know, once I was in Geneva, Switzerland, and in Geneva there's a lot of expatriates. That's also, like, it makes me laugh. We call the rich migrants like expats, and the poor migrants. But I mean, you're a migrant if you're not in your country, you know. Like, that's how So I was near the lake. There's this place where you can get drinks, food, And there's this lady from the US. She comes to me, no hi, no nothing, and she starts asking me questions in American English. So since I knew it was 2011 or something, I was freshly coming back from the US. So I answer her questions and everything, and then she's like, once she got her information, she left, and no hi, no bye, no thanks, and no surprise. I mean, like if I'm in a foreign country and I go to someone and I directly start speaking in Turkish, and they respond to me with almost perfect Turkish. I mean, I'll be surprised, like, wow, where did you learn and how come? And great, where did you live in the US? And no, it's that mentality that the entire world is ours and this is our backyard, And I mean, it might have been maybe true to a certain extent, but the world is changing now. I mean, global south is rising. The wake-up call might be really violent. So I think that's not a good attitude to have. And it also makes it dangerous, Even when I'm doing making those videos in American English, it exposes you, because if you're a group of people speaking loud in a foreign language, then people around, they're like, oh, they're foreigners. And not everybody has... And I see it with the videos because, I'm kind of, I have dark hair. I usually pass for Latino, and I speak Spanish. And so in my day-to-day life, depending on what country I am, for example, in Colombia and Argentina, I don't even enter the radar of people, they think, and then they're surprised when I tell them that I'm not Latino, But now that I'm doing the YouTube thing, first of all, I mean, just having a selfie stick attracts the attention, and also speaking English. I mean, you're already labeled as gringo, so you got to be careful. Got to be I got to be careful because it changes my reality. It's not the same Ali walking around when I'm walking like that. Also, here, I haven't experienced much because I don't hang out with foreigners, so I haven't experienced that much, but sometimes I see it when I'm with a group of people and we speak American English. I see the people around there. You enter, they notice you, And so it's not the end of the world if they notice you, but if they notice you and they have bad intentions, now they know you exist, So then they can see if they can get something out of you or not. So yeah, again, I went on a huge tangent. Again, it's long. I have to get better at going to the point, but it's nice. I think it's nice. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, it's like socializing. It's like sharing experiences, and sometimes when things are not scripted, interesting ideas come. I enjoy making the videos, and also all of them, at least once I watch them again to make sure that I'm not saying something very compromising. And I enjoy it. I mean, without being narcissistic, I enjoy listening to it. I like the pace, that's how it's kind of my personality. I'm an album guy. I don't like playlists. I hate TikTok. For me, it's I like to listen to albums from beginning to end, watch long movies, read books. And my experience, I love, for example, Joe Rogan, 3-hour podcast, great. I'll be cooking, I'll be listening, and you learn a ton of things, and it calms you down, But when you are, your attention span is 8 seconds, I mean, you turn into how they call it, a redfish. It's horrible. But I think there's a deep wave coming. I think it's gonna go so extreme with all the TikTok and short songs, everything short. Even with the songs, now almost the songs, they have to start with the hook. It has to come with the chorus first. I mean, I'm sorry, but Pink Floyd is a great band. I want to listen to. I mean, I'm not saying every song should be 7 minutes long, but I mean, bands like Pink Floyd, they will show you that. And like they will justify you why this song is 7 minutes long. So I think there's going to be a deep wave of people coming back to, and so I think I have to find my audience. Like I have to find the people that are not on the go. They're not just looking for information really quick, but they wanna, yeah, they wanna listen to somebody else's experience in a slower pace. And I'm sure there are people like that, because I am like that. So maybe there are not many people like that, but because it's much more fun to make videos this way, one shot, and being natural, no script anything, and go off tangents. Sometimes the tangents, I think they're more interesting than the main topic. So I think it's an interesting way of doing things. And then, you know, I enjoy it. So it's not like I have to go past my life on Final Cut Pro and script and all that. Like, so it's natural, and I can do other things. You know, sometimes I do grounding. I really value walking, so I walk. Well, sometimes it gets noisy and all that, but like, so I'm getting my walking done. And also when I walk, because I tried also doing this type of video sitting down with my recording gear for my music band and stuff, and it didn't work very well for me. So maybe that theory that when we're walking, the brain is like is getting more stimulated. Maybe it's true, because yeah, walking is that's another thing. It's like it's a great tool. Okay, so I'm gonna go do grocery shopping, because at 1 o'clock local time, my team Trabzonspor is playing, and that I don't miss. That I don't miss. It's and this year I have season tickets in the stadium, and I bought the membership to watch. I hate television, like, but I only watch my team play, and they also have other channels, so I can also watch the national team play. So it was yeah, it was quite of an investment, but you know, it's I do it to support my team, even if I cannot go to the stadium. You know, I can transfer the ticket, so it helps somebody. I can also transfer to the club. So now I think the big games I'm going to transfer to the club, so the club can make more money. So they're making double. Like, they're selling me the season ticket, and those against the big Istanbul teams, you know, they can sell it to really high price. And this year, I mean, the new president, he wants to get rid of all our debts. I mean, that's more important than becoming champion, you know, because all the big clubs, they're so much in debt. They have so much trouble with the UEFA, the governing body of the European soccer, you know. So he has promised that within a year we'll be, because we are paying millions of euros just in interest, you know, because yeah, the system is, because, like, you know, presidents, you know, they come and they want to be popular, so they buy all these like players for expensive price. And also, you know, a lot of the good players from Europe, they don't want to come to Turkey. You know, it's a little bit more, even though it's in the Eurozone for soccer, it's not like they don't watch you that much compared to the Spanish league or the Premier League, you know, in the UK. So you got to pay them more. And so one president comes, so to in order to stay in power, he brings all these players and try to get like a sportive success, and then he leaves with all the debts. And in Turkey, if I know it, I'm not sure, I might be wrong on that, but it's like the status of the clubs are not like they're not like companies, you know. So they create all this debt, and they become famous because, you know, they're the president of a prestigious club, and then they go, but the debt stays. And now you got to sell jerseys, and like, so it's so with Trabzonspor, we already internally changed that. Like, now the presidents are responsible after a certain like threshold. They're responsible of their debt. So we are pioneer in that. And this president, like Ertuğrul Doğan, he wants to pay off debt, and that's worth 5 championships. Because once we do that, then yeah, my belief is that every 5 years 2 or 3 championship in Turkey is going to be ours. If it's, I mean, then we need a fair referee, because the whole referee system is, it's a disaster. It's like, it's not even, it's not like, it's beyond cheating. It's like, it's surreal. Like, but now there's also a good president for the National Association. He used to be the president of Trabzonspor in the past, so I really trust him, not because he roots for the same team as I do, but he's a man of his word, and he's very. I think it's gonna be good for everyone. But you know, last game we played against Beşiktaş, it was, I mean, the referee was like all the decisions, it was for them. So it's still, I think, even though the president has changed, the structures and the whole, you know, like how they do. I don't want to use bad words, but like how they do their business and all the interest dynamics are still there. So I think it's going to take time to clean everything. If it could be clean, you know, it's just very. It goes really deep, you know. Like, I mean, soccer in Turkey, it's not just a sport. Like, it's very, very, very. It's very powerful tool because it touches a lot of people in a very, very passionate way. So, you know, people are the most logical person, you know, like the most logical person. He has PhDs and everything. When it comes to that, they become the most fanatic and irrational, including myself. Like, you know, it's very, so in Turkey, soccer, it's something else. It's not just, oh, we're going to the stadium, we're going to buy hot dogs, and no. It's something else. It's serving another purpose. It's like addiction, you know, like you're smoking, it always like, all the addictions have purposes. You try to compensate for something that is not functioning well. And I think, I don't want to go too deep on that, but I think there's something like that with, because a Turkish person following a team, it has nothing to do with a Belgian person following a team. It's like, they both love the game and everybody, there are different layers of how they perceive it. And okay, the video is getting really long and I don't want to miss the pre-game and all that. So thank you for watching. I mean, if you watched it that far, extra thank you. And I see you soon, inshallah.